Crazy about my money. Crazy about my money.
Welcome to M.A.L, Moagi Accounting Lessons. My name is Mr. Moagi, and today we are focusing on income statement, or the statement of income and expenses. Income statement. Now, when you compile your income statement, or before we go there, what is an income statement? This is the statement whereby you will be focusing mainly on your income and the expenses of your business. The most important part when you compile your income statement is the structure of the statement. You need to know the structure, how your income statement is structured. It is very important. So the first thing first, we're going to focus on when you compile your income statement. This is the format. Start with sales. Okay, basically your income statement will look like this. This is the amount section. So now this is the format. It's sales followed by cost of sales. Cost of sales. And then normally your sales, we all know what is sales. Sales is everything that you have sold, the amount or the figures you put here. Let's say you sell and then your sales amount to 100,000, then you're gonna show your sales here, right? And then cost of sales, it's basically cost of what you have sold. So for you to get sales, remember, you have a business. You go and buy your merchandise or your stock or whatever product. Then it costs you 1,000 Rand to buy whatever product that you are going to be selling. So let's say it costs you 10 Rand, for example. It costs you 10 Rand to buy whatever product that you bought. And then you are not going, so this is a cost price. You are not going to sell whatever product that you bought at 10 Rand. You're going to add what we call a markup. In this case, let's just say your markup is 50%, which will amount to 5 Rand in this point. Then you're going to have what you call a selling price. Selling price is made out of your 10 Rand, which is cost price, and the markup, which is 5 Rand. Therefore, your selling price will be 15 Rand. Therefore, this product, when you sell it, you're going to sell it at 5 Rand. Therefore, this takes us back to what you call sales. You made a sales amounting to 15 Rand, you're going to put it there. Another example. And then now, cost of sales is simply the cost of what you have sold. How much did it cost you for everything that you have sold? In this case, in our example, it's only 10 Rand. Therefore, you're going to take your cost of sales and put it there. I hope we are following. Now remember, cost of sales is basically the cost of what you have sold. So we're going to put it in brackets so we can go to the next step, which is gross profit. So gross profit is basically, we want to know how much did you make, how much profit did you make from what you have sold. So you're going to simply say sales minus your cost of sales, which is equals your gross profit. You're gonna put it there. I hope we are moving together and we are in the same page. So from there, we're gonna move to the next step, which is other operating income. Other operating income. Now, when we talk about other operating income, and at this point, we focus on all our operating income. So we're gonna mention and list all the income we have in our business. For example, the examples would be your fee income. Fee income. And then another example will be your provision for bad debts. For example, we can have provision for bad debts. At this point, you should be knowing how that provision for bad debts become an income or how the provision for bad debts become an expense. That will be a topic for another day, but it's possible that provision for bad debts adjustment could be our income. Another example of an income would be your rent income. Rent income. Right? And another example of your income would be profit on sale of fixed assets. Not always the case. This is just examples of all the other incomes that we might have in our business. Right? So now that we have all the income listed down, what we are going to do, I'm going to show you how to calculate this. We are going to add all the income. So the amount for fee income, we put it there. Provision for bad debt, if it's an income, we're gonna put it there as well. Rent income, of course, we will put it there as well. Profit on sale of fixed asset, we'll also put it there. At this point, we should be understanding the profit on sale of fixed asset, how to calculate that. If you do not understand, stay tuned when we are dealing with activities so you understand how we get to a point whereby we have a profit on sale of fixed asset. Now I'm gonna just draw a little box here so that everything becomes clear and easy for you to understand. Now we're gonna add all the income together and the total, we will put it up here. So this is just total income that we have. Are we together? So we have total income, total other operating income is made out of all the income that we have. And then we're gonna have the next step from here is gross operating income. Now we have what we call gross operating income. Right? So gross operating income, it is made out of other operating income plus gross profit. So basically we add these two. These two will give you your gross operating income. The total amount come here. Now you leave it as it is. Then we move to the next step whereby we will be focusing on operating expenses. Operating expenses. So I'm gonna try to list all the expenses that I can remember. In this case, our simple expense that we can remember, we have, for example, water and electricity. You simply go and put it there, the amount you put it there, followed by advertisement. Advertisement could be one of the expenses in the company. If you are running a company, of course you need to advertise your goods or your products. Then you're gonna put the amount you spend there for advertisement. Other expenses could be your bank charges. Bank charges. Bank charges also falls part of your expense because those charges are going to be paid by your business. And then another example, we have insurance. Insurance is also part of the expenses that I can think of. And then we also have what we call trading stock deficit. Trading stock deficit. Trading stock deficit. So trading stock deficit, it's simply the loss you made as you are doing your stock count. The stock count or the amount of stock you have is less than what it should be. The difference there, that is what we call a trading stock deficit. So we'll have a discussion about the trading stock deficit as well some other time. But for now, you should know that a trading stock deficit is also an expense. We also have what you call bad debts. As an example of your expense, always make sure that the amount you put there, we also have what you call depreciation. Depreciation is also one of the examples we have for the expenses. And sometimes we might be renting, so we also have what we call rent expense. If we are renting something, like we're renting a studio or we are renting whatever place or an office, we must show that expense there. So we have salaries and wages. Of course, we employ people to come assist us make our business a success. We must pay them. They form part of our expenses. And we have more, like vehicle expense, telephone expenses. We are paying telephone, printing and stationery. Also, this forms part of our expenses. So there are a lot of expenses that I can mention. But for now, let me just end there. So we continue with our income statement and then you understand where to go from here. So we show all the amount here. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to add all the expenses. We add all the expenses. And after adding all the expenses, the total amount, I'm going to show it here on operating expenses. Now that, because these are expenses, I'm going to show in a bracket because I want to be able to minus this when I do my calculations. I'm going to show it in a bracket because this amount, these are the expenses. All the amount that we paid must be shown in our income statement and then it must be shown in the bracket. So I'm going to put this amount in a bracket because it's the total amount of all our expenses combined together. And then now the next step, after you have combined all the expenses, we're going to move to what we call operating profit. Operating profits. Now, how to get your operating profit? It's very simple. You simply take your gross operating income, you minus all operating expenses. So this minus this, it will give you your gross operating profit. I believe we are still together and we are moving. Now the next step will be Interest income. After operating profit, we're going to focus on what we call interest income. Interest income, basically, this is the interest you receive from all the fixed deposit that you have made, or the investment that you have made. If you don't understand what I mean by fixed deposit, I mean the fixed deposit is the amount of money that you had in your business and you put it, you invest it in a bank for 5, 6, 7 years, and then each and every year you get what we call an interest income. So when you receive your interest, those interest income or the interest income combined together, you must show here. Right? So what we're gonna do, the next step is profit before interest expense. Profit before interest expense. Profit before interest expense. So we want to know how much is our profit before we take the interest expense into account. It's very easy. What we do, we add our operating profit plus our interest income together. Then this will give us the profit before interest expense. Right? Then from there, it can be profit, can be a loss before interest expense been taken into account. At this point, we have, let's just say we have a profit before interest expense. Now, we're going to take into account now what we call interest expense. Now, to break it down to you, interest expense, it is the interest that the business pay for the loan that it took throughout the course of the operation. So each and every year, if we took a long-term loan, what will happen is that that loan, we have to pay it back with the interest. So the interest will be showing here. So this is your interest expense. I'm going to show our interest expense in the bracket because it is also forms part of our expenses as well. Then the last part of our income statement is the net profit for the year. Net profit for the year. Net profit for the year, we simply take the profit before interest expense, you minus your interest expense, and that will give you your net profit for the year. Now, just to break it down to you, for grade 12, this income statement is just an introduction to income statement. This covers grade 10, 11, and for grade 12, we all have what we call tax. Our income tax must be shown there and taken into account as well. However, when we do the income statement for grade 12, you'll be aware or you realize that we have what we call income tax for the year. Of course, yes. So for now, this is our income statement. If you have any questions or you have any confusion, please leave your comment there so I can break it down to you even further. So this is just how your income statement will be structured. From grade 10 and grade 11 and also in grade 12, if you are in your varsity level 1 first year, this is how your structure or your income statement will look like. You just have to understand how we started from the top, how we came about our income statement to the end. And then if you get the structure of your income statement, or let me rather say the format, then you won't get confused. Another thing that I want to highlight is that you don't just have an income statement, or you cannot complete your income statement without having information. Of course, there are transactions that take place throughout the year. Transactions. Now, this transaction that take place throughout the year, they will guide you as to what to do. What happened with rent? What happened with trading stock, insurance, and all that? And that's when now calculations start taking place. For calculation purposes and everything else, you will realize and you will come to achieve a better understanding as we attempt to other activities and calculation as to how to calculate and all that. So thank you very much. There you have it. That's your income statement, or that's your video for introduction for income statement. Thank you very much. Join us next time when we do our activities. Thank you.
This video was shot and edited by PSN Photography and Cover Art Services.